That smells of bug spray.
It does, yeah. Somebody was spraying bug spray just upwind
Just
of
over
us.
there. So Martin, where are we?
We are at the Guild Inn.
Otherwise known as Guildwood.
Guildwood Gardens or
Guildwood Estates.
Guildwood Estates. That's right.
Because originally that's what it was, the Guildwood Estates.
Yeah.
Because it went all the way up to the top of Guildwood, and where those gates are.
That's right.
That used to be part of the whole estates, and this was the original, like the property, the house.
The original house itself.
Yeah.
Became an artist's retreat.
That's right. That's right, and we're basically at the top of Scarborough Bluffs, which is why it's so windy. There are calm days, but rare. But this is where we got married.
Yeah. Wasn't this the day we got married?
No, it wasn't. That's okay. It's the weather front coming through.
Yeah. We've had some intermittent thunderstorms and showers over the past
It rained like stickets last night.
Yeah. Early this morning, too.
Really?
Yep.
I slept through that. I guess you didn't.
Nope.
I still love you. I know. Just a different way now, huh?
Exactly.
Right, so I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear us with this wind. Do let us know if you can't hear things. But this is our little entry into the HAPS local challenge. The Guild Inn is part of the Scarborough Bluff, so I wouldn't say local like right on our door. But when you grow up in this area, you kind of, this is just recognized as local to you. Like the people like me who just, I guess, Martin, you've become more and more, you don't care about travel type person, but you weren't when I met you. You were very Brantford with it.
I was sheltered. I was very sheltered. Yeah.
You were.
So I've experienced so much of the world because of this one.
You're welcome, or I'm sorry.
You're yeah, I'm totally thanking you.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So the Guild Inn has a theater company, so this is a good sign. You know, everyone's wearing masks and social distancing, and on the chairs are on little clusters of 4. Normally there's a lot of chairs, but see this. Yeah. Oh, it didn't scroll. But here you go. People arriving for the show.
Outdoor theater at its best.
So that's the amphitheater. We got married on that stage, and the building that we had a reception in, unfortunately, has burnt down while we were in BC. We didn't do it. No, we were in BC.
We have an alibi.
We were in another province altogether. But that's the amphitheater, and the pillars and the archways were taller. Sections have been taken out of them to make them the height they are, because they were the front of a Toronto Dominion Bank at one time. And basically, this whole property is sections of buildings from around Toronto that they took down. And the idea came about to take the pieces and move them out here to Guildwood and the Guild Inn. Now, the inn doesn't exist anymore, although it's still referred to as the Guild Inn by people who remember the inn. But the original house was restored. We'll walk back to that soon. But the original house was restored. And the inn that was attached to it, which was built, I believe, in the 60s, if I remember correctly, definitely looked and felt like it. Yeah. The hotel itself was taken down because it was in horrible shape. But the whole property basically shut down at one point, and it was neglected. The city owns the park area, and the Guild Inn owned the original building, and the Guild Inn basically went under. But the park was still making a lot of money, you know, for weddings and grads and, you know, arts events and stuff like that, photo shoots, yeah. So, you know, it was doing fine. The city was doing fine with the park, which is good because that's where all this stuff was. But the historical building itself was just crumbling, and as was the hotel attached to it. Like I said, we'll double back to that later on the broadcast. But yeah, so we so they the city basically bought the building and knocked down the hotel. And unfortunately, like I said, the studio, which was where we had our reception, it had a big, huge, you know, bride and groom's rooms. So I didn't have to go to the washroom with everyone else. Yeah, little banquet hall and everything. So because that burned down, they built a one-level convention center on either side of the original building. So I guess I should have typed history as well as the hashtag.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'll have to go fix that after the broadcast.
And it burned down because the property got abandoned and neglected and it was squatters basically moved in, right?
Yeah, squatters moved in, and unfortunately, there was a lot of insulation and stuff that was old and dangerous, and it went up like a tinderbox. So the very first thing they did when they decided to save the main building was to pull out all the old insulation, so that if something happened, it probably would not go up like a tinderbox. Hopefully not, but they've made a lot of changes to rescue the building and restore it back to its original glory as close as they could. So it's now a historically protected site. But yeah, all these pieces, and it's really horrible. I don't know if someone stole it somehow or whatever, but over there used to be a horse head, a massive metal. I think it was iron.
I think iron or bronze. Yeah.
It was iron or bronze, but I've got photos of it at home. But it's gone now, and I can't find anywhere online where it went.
I wonder if it ended up in some politician's bed.
Yeah.
Just as a warning.
Some politician's bed. Nice. So you can see no one's allowed to be in more than a cluster of 4. And people who bought tickets to the show and supporting the arts. So it's going to be a windy performance. Normally we would be sitting right over there on those steps with, walking you around and stuff and showing the plaque and everything. But the performers are back there right now and doing their thing. So we're not gonna disturb them. We're gonna let them do the show, because this is raising money to keep the guild operational. So, funny thing about it with photo shoots, and we found it interesting. A a photo permit, a permit to basically be at the guild Inn to do photo shoots officially. Wedding photos and grad photos, etc., etc. Wow, yeah, uh, is $200. But if you get caught doing photos without a permit, it's only $100 fine. So a lot of people just come and do photos and don't think about the permits, because the fine is cheaper than the permit. So I'm going to do a test comment because I'm not seeing any comments actually. Would you hold on a second? Thank you. Okay, it is working good. Good.
Everyone's quiet today.
Everyone's quiet. Yes. Yes, I'm actually going to ask you to hold this for a moment so I can put my sunglasses on top of my head.
And hopefully the wind doesn't take them.
I don't think the wind's going to take them. So what do you think?
Go for a stroll around the back.
Back and then out to the bluffs, or out to the bluffs and in through the back?
We'll go to the bluffs and then back. We'll take the center path. That way we can stay out of their way a bit more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go for a walk, folks. And like I said, if you can't hear, just let us know. So a lot of the art pieces that are around the property are either from buildings or were created by artisans that were, because this used to be an artist colony, and then it was a naval base for a while, training naval base, and it was even a hospital for a bit. But a lot of these art pieces are from, from the artists that were here. I love this piece so much.
St. Francis and the Wolf by Thomas Bowie, resident guild sculptor from 1955 to 1963. And I just realized the wolf has the same fur pattern as the Stark wolf from Game of Thrones. I think that's based on a common heraldry thing.
Could be, but just look at the detail, like the fabric creases, and of course because it's aged over the years, it looks even more like fabric now. This is signature down at the bottom. It's just, the work is just beautiful. Now, in 1991, when Martin and I got married here, that was a fountain. But again, because of the neglect, for a while. The water source, which was the main building, the water source was cut off for so long that the city said, okay, you know what? We're just going to turn it into a garden. So it's no longer a water fountain. It is now a garden of various types of flowers and plants. But the swan is still in the middle. Yeah, the swan. Oh, yeah, those are huge. The swan is still in the middle, and you can see just underneath. You can see that it was blue. Martin and I remember it blue.
Oh, the blue paint job on the cement.
Yeah, because it was a fountain, so it was blue. But you can see they painted over top white, and it's been cracking as the years go by. And on his face with Kenwick popping in from the pub. Woo! Hi, Red Eye. So we'll come back and show you more in that direction. But let's walk towards the bluffs themselves. You can see why I love my home. Like, I mean, the high school I went to is just a short ways down that way. And we used to have a fundraiser walk every year. And that's how I first discovered the Guild Inn, by these gates over here. We were, the one year they had us half on the main streets and stuff, and half right along the bluffs. So I saw these gates and didn't know what it was, and we had to keep walking and stuff. So it took a little while for me to finally figure it out. And then I did a school project with a friend, a video project, a historical book report type thing. And we brought our camera down here and did it all with the pillars and everything. So we'll walk out to the bluffs. Look at these, aren't those gorgeous? We're just gonna slide past you guys, if that's okay. Thank you so much. So the plaque for this is where they're standing, so we'll come back to it when we come back. But the bluffs have been eroding. Yeah, there's the path. So went right by these gates, and I'm like, what is this thing?
All this architecture.
And this one, I can't remember what these stone benches are off the same building, but the little plaques are gone somehow. But yeah, so the bluffs have been eroding so badly. When Martin and I were here in 1991 getting married, this fence line wasn't here. This is a more recent fence line put in, because the fence line was there. There's one pole left from it, and there was a lot more dirt past the fence line.
Mm-hmm.
But warning: do not climb bluffs. Bluffs unstable. Do not enter. Yeah. So Martin and I have a photograph actually of us standing out there. But back then, all these signs weren't here. It was just a rope across. Now they've it's much sturdier.
Yeah.
It still
cables.
Yeah, it still doesn't stop people from trying to go out there.
But if they catch you, they'll fine you $5,000.
Yeah, $5,000 if you want to take a chance. Woo!
Wow.
But yes, folks, that is Lake Ontario. That massive thing somewhere on the other end, other side there is the U.S. But yeah, there are about 4 state houses that are along the bluffs, and the city's trying to figure out how to save them, because as the bluffs erode, yeah, the owners are not too fazed by the fact that they're losing a bit of their backyard. But if those estates go off the edge of the cliff, then we got a problem. Hi, Jedi Senji.
Hey, Katie.
Hey, Katie. And again, this one, the plaque is missing. This one had like a history of the area type plaque on it. Again, where it's gone, the sign from it is gone, which is a shame. I'm hoping they get around it, because these are just outside the gates. These are just outside the property area. Yes, it's very windy. Very, very windy. I hope the performers are going to have a hell of a time. I mean, outdoor stage, you kind of roll with it.
We did that with the Ren Fest.
That's true.
Through rain and wind.
And yes, when I walked through here before, and again, you can see the remains of the old fence line.
Slowly rotting away.
And how close it is to the edge. Whereas before it used to be really far from the edge. So this is a new fence line. So that's how much is eroded. Not as much over here from the looks of it. But they've replaced
a few trees.
Yeah. That one looks like it's marked to come down next. Well, hopefully they have a good reason. So we're going to go back in any moment now. It's recent too. Look at all the sawdust.
Chainsaw chuff everywhere.
Woo! Can you guys hear us okay? Oh yeah, a bunch over there too.
Didn't we do a bunch of photos around those missing trees?
We did do a bunch of photos around those missing trees. So we're going to come back into the primary property. Now at this end of the property, closer to the front, closer to Guildwood, there was the main pottery building, and the kilns. They're gone now, but they've been building a new structure where they used to be. They were the remains of them were turned into storage for a lot of the pieces that hadn't made it out yet. So they're building a new building to basically move all the stuff into that building and start refurbishing more pieces to put on the property. I love this acorn style. You know,
just random bits everywhere. It's really cool.
Some of them have plaques, some of them don't. This one doesn't look like it does. Neither is that little bench piece. It doesn't. But these are all of the buildings that were taken down. How is everyone tonight? This evening? Good evening. Oh, it's nice to see that open now.
Oh yeah, all the way in the front.
So all of these are pieces from buildings. They've just been placed so, people can use them as benches. Oh, this is a new arrangement. I don't remember seeing that piece last time we were here.
Oh, remember last time we were here, they had dug out 3 spots.
Oh, that's right.
They hadn't put anything in yet.
So well, now they have. That's kind of cool. I like that piece. Although I think it's supposed to be the other way around. But then you can't use it as a bench if it's the other way around.
I don't know.
That looks like
upside down. But then those would be upside down.
Good, had a mostly quiet day. Yay! It's true. See, look at the block number still on it. So these don't have their plaques yet. They probably will. Oh yeah, they are 3. They are separate pieces. You can see the support inside from where it sat on the building originally. Fleur de lis. Yes. The fleur de lis. Was it the Guild, 1970 to 1995? A lover of nature.
25 years.
Yeah.
So she was a sculptor in residence. She was still a sculptor in residence when we got married.
That's true. Nice.
Never considered that.
No, I never thought of that either.
Read that plaque before. Osterhout log cabin.
All right. I'm hoping you guys can hear. I'm gonna kneel down. Okay. There we go. Oldest building in Scarborough, built in 1795 by Augustus Jones, who was commissioned by John Graves Simcoe, first Lieutenant Governor of Upper Canada, to survey Scarborough. William Osterhout later received the first Crown grant of the land from King George III in 1805. So this cabin, obviously, they've done repairs in order to keep it standing. But this cabin goes back to 1795. And we'll show you the cabin and stay out of the way of anyone who's taking photos. Now, there was a time like those windows, they've been broken a number of times, which is why they've got a plexi over top of them. And they've had to replace the brick on the chimney. But you can see the old sag from the wood and the shingles and stuff. And a lot of that mortar in between has been replaced. But apparently those are still the original logs. Yep. And you can see the tar on the ends of them to seal them. But imagine, it was him and his family. I think the story goes he had 4 kids.
Something like that.
So him, his wife, and his 4 kids in this cabin.
So they lived downstairs and they slept upstairs. There was an actual upstairs in this space. Basically, you just climbed up there on a ladder and lay down in bed. That was about all you could do.
Yeah. Well, the heat from the day would rise from cooking and everything. So you could stay warm at night. So yeah, you can see how short it is, and that's one of the things too that we were showing on one broadcast, the exhibition grounds. How much shorter people were.
The other old log cabin.
Yeah. The other old log cabin, yes. This is the oldest building in Scarborough, so in the borough of Scarborough, or more like the city of Scarborough. Although Scarborough is part of Toronto, so you can put Toronto on the address. But you can see they've had to completely board it up because it was just people were crawling into it and damaging it, and so I'm hoping they'll reopen it as an educational, because years ago it was designed for educating, and it's been since boarded up more or less. Here, Martin, I'll take the camera for a moment. So here to show you. I mean, there would have been a step here. So imagine me standing on the step, and I'm 5'4".
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty short doorway. Yeah.
You see how short they would be. People have gotten taller over the years. I'm an actual correct height for the time period, which I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. But you can see where the ceiling or floor joists are for the second floor for that loft. Those beams that are sticking out of the side of the house, they go right across from one end of the house to the other and support the loft. Yeah.
You can see the old oil paint just cracking.
Oh yeah.
The old oil paint just deteriorating, and the wood underneath. Yeah. Time is having its way with it. And of course, being at the top of the bluffs, that doesn't help. If you wouldn't mind holding that for a little bit to give my hand a
I can do that, yeah.
Thank you.
Just a little bit. There we go. Easy to hold. Fireplace in?
It looks like people have actually put little fires in it.
Little offerings and stuff. Let's see, a lot of people put out birdseed.
Fireplace from 46 Bedford Road, Toronto. Home of Sir Frederick Banting. KBE MC has gone DE. Born in Alliston, Ontario in 1891. Graduated from the University of Toronto in 1917. Discovered insulin in 1922.
That's right.
Awarded Nobel Prize 1924. And killed in an air crash in 1941. While on special war mission to Britain, he built his home in 1928 and lived there until 1933. Wow. So this is 1928. So there you go, the fireplace of the guy who discovered insulin.
The roaring fire in the roaring 20s.
And bird feeder.
and now a bird feeder.
So again, random pieces from the TD.
Yep.
The home branch of Toronto Dominion. When the whole frontage was changed.
It was downtown at like Bay and King or something, I think, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, the building's
actually,
still there, but the whole frontage is different.
Yeah, inside the building, actually, the main branch, they have an architectural model of the original building. It's really kind of cool because you can look at it and go, hey, there's the amphitheater right there in the middle.
So I think these look like they might be from the same.
They match, yeah. They match that other piece, that's for sure.
Same building on the other piece.
Some are in better shape than others. That one on the far
these
side
have
is
been
really
out
nice
for-
and clean.
These have been out for a while. The wind coming off the lake, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to see this out again.
I know. Just noticed the last time we were here, there were a couple of guys working on it.
Yep. This was hidden for a while. I think it was just too damaged, and they probably brought it in to recondition it and get it back.
Yep.
But just like massively big. There you go. The flywheel.
Flywheel, crank and drive pulley of stone gang saw for cutting slabs from quarried blocks of stone or marble. Flywheel added its momentum and motor power on cutting stroke of blades. In earlier days, silica sand and water were used, then steel shot and finally diamond-studded teeth. Wow. Donated by Arthur Hibbard from the shop of Arthur Hibbard, Cutstone Limited, 195 Melita Avenue, Toronto, 1977.
So it was donated in 1977. So, but it doesn't say when it was built or when it was made. Can you imagine this sucker going at full speed?
Oh yeah.
Woo.
And that little crank in the middle there to operate the
crank.
blade. Operate the blade. It's a wee crank. It's just a wee bit cranky.
That's no little, but of course they've seized it into place so that people can't hurt themselves, because that would be bad.
Here we go. FR Patch Manufacturing Company, Rutland, Vermont, but no actual manufacturing date on it, unfortunately.
Now I'm trying.
Extreme close up.
Now I'm trying to remember. I think one of these three had a plaque on it, didn't it?
If so, not anymore.
Nope, you're right. It doesn't. They don't. There's still a lot of random pieces that no one really knows what buildings they came from.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've been in that one repair building for a long time. There's a date on the side. No, the company.
Same thing. Rutland, Vermont. What's it say on the? This is Dodge on the arm.
Dodge.
Yeah, Dodge.
Nice.
Yeah. Just says Dodge. Doesn't have any dates there either.
Look at how beautiful these are.
Mm-hmm. All this like hand carved detail.
It's almost as like a fancy coffin when you think about it.
Yeah. And this would have likely been the underside of an archway or something. So you look up and this is what you see up on the ceiling. Again, no plaque that you can see as to where it's from.
Oh, it used
the
to
detail
be
on this side
coated.
too.
See?
Oh yeah.
There's marble underneath, but there seems to be some sort of coating to it.
Be right back. Have to needle the cat. Go needle the cat.
Maybe it wasn't an arch. Maybe it was a pillar.
Well, it's got a crown. It's got crown molding detail on this side. Art Lover Award. Art Lover.
Yay,
thank you. The
thank
High
you.
Award. Yay.
Hi.
Art Lover.
Hi.
There we go. Yeah, I mean this is like
right.
serious artistic pieces. Yeah, so that's crown molding detail. So this would have been upside down.
I wonder what it was coated with.
I don't know. Or is that literally from water sitting?
Oh, you think this is from it sitting here?
Yeah.
It could be.
So
you're right, because
like,
it's just in those deeper areas.
Lower areas. So it fills with water, and the water it'll get kind of scummy and dirty. And how did you know? Is it that obvious? Hey, James. How did we know what?
How do we know what? Yeah. That's just awesome. But it's great that they rescued these pieces. Like I said, some of them don't have plaques because they've been sitting inside that one building for so long and never made it out. So they've been slowly reconditioning some of these pieces and bringing them out, because a lot of these pieces we didn't see back when we got married here. And I don't remember from my high school years. So it's...
Yeah, they've taken some away, but they've added quite a few more.
Well, the bell used to be out front, because we've got a photograph of ourselves. Remember, it used to be on the platform down below.
Yeah, where you could actually reach it.
Yeah, and there's video of you and I ringing it.
Yeah,
the next
my
day
bad. I
after
thought you
a wedding.
said I was high. Oh.
And yeah, it's we put it up higher now, probably because they got tired of people ringing it.
Probably,
but it disappeared and then came back out. Well, Bell and Balfrey of Victoria Park School, known as O'Sullivan's Corner School, 1873 to 1884, or 1964, Victoria Park Avenue C 401, Northwest Corner, Toronto. So yeah, they put it higher, but we've got a photograph of us sitting on, because it used to be down here, and it used to be out front. But I guess when they took away those parts, the addition to the original building, when they took those away, they probably moved all this stuff back there for that very reason. There was no point in it being up front anymore.
Katie's back. How's the cat?
How's the cat? See, I want to redo my Cleopatra just to come out here and do another photo shoot.
Oh yeah, with all these columns and pillars and everything around.
Yeah. I really liked doing the Cleopatra thing. There's so many new and lighter materials now.
Fred's just fine. Yeah, and here's just sort of random stacks of not quite on display stuff. Again, more crown molding stuff with little lion gargoyle figures on it.
Does he have a hole? Yes. He has a spout.
Yeah, this one's in slightly better shape. Crouch down and take a look at it. This would have actually been from the top of a roof because there's shingle.
Yeah.
Is that slate?
It looks that way.
Yeah. Hey, Jivaneth. Oh no, it's tar shingle.
It's tar shingle.
Okay. It looked like slate from back here.
But they do have holes, so they did have spouts. That one's completely broken off.
Oh, poor guy.
He's missing his head.
There's another piece of that crown molding with the detail. Yeah, there's a dozen of them.
So imagine that at the top of a building. Somewhere in Toronto. And now they're just stacked back here.
Waiting for something to be done with them.
I always like these walls because it's just such a mishmash.
Just, we got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Let's just pop them all together. Is this where you were married? Yes. We started the broadcast near the actual amphitheater where we got married. There's a local outdoor theater group that's using it now.
Right now,
like right this moment they're doing a show.
See, this is, well, it's gonna crumble.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh no, put it back.
It's crumbling.
Yeah. There's a little split, a little crack gets into it, and then Captain Kirk gets a high award. Thank you. Hi, Captain. A little water gets in underneath, and then it freezes in the winter and pops it.
And I think this is soapstone, isn't it?
Sandstone.
Sandstone.
Yeah.
Sorry. Soapstone, something else. I had a moment.
Either sandstone or limestone, because there's a lot of limestone. It is a beautiful place. Hey, Nico. Yeah, just all the architecture that they've rescued from older buildings all over Toronto.
And there's or at least what's left of a spider nest.
Oh yeah, that's what pushed it off.
Yeah. But it's crumbling a little bit by little bit.
Yeah, Ontario actually has some very, very rich limestone deposits, and so from a little farther north along some of the riverbeds is where a lot of the limestone was quarried for some of the buildings here.
But of course, this kind of stone does deteriorate. It's great to carve. You get beautiful detailing out of it, but it does crumble. And since these are all random pieces off of various buildings that are now gone.
So that wasn't the place that was occupied with those buildings? No. No, these are all the couple that originally started this property, started the guild. They went around to where buildings were being demolished and purchased up some of the more interesting architectural details just to rescue them. Otherwise, they would have ended up being crumbled and broken into pieces and put in landfill or scattered along the shorelines for breakwaters and things like that. Love to take a tracing of that. Yeah, that big floral pattern is really cool. Yeah.
Well, if we had paper and pens, what we'd do for you.
Yeah. It's pretty deep relief though, so it's a bit of a challenge.
So we're going to do our best to be respectful of the show.
Yeah, we don't want to be recording their show without, at all, let alone without buying tickets.
I love these.
These are cool.
The provincial slabs.
Each representative of different industries and features of the provinces. So Alberta, you've got the Calgary Stampede represented, and of course the Alberta beef industry. Saskatchewan, you've got the corn and the wheat.
And you can see that.
Corn stalks.
Oh, sorry, yeah, corn. You can see the corn right there.
Yeah. Good on them. They preserve the beautiful architecture. Yeah, there's a show going on. They take the amphitheater and they turn it into a little outdoor theater.
They're basically trying to raise. They're basically trying to rekindle the Guild of All Arts, including live theater. And so all the money from the tickets for that goes right into rescuing these, which I think is awesome.
Oh yeah, they call themselves the Guild Festival Theater. I can see one of the signs right now. And we have Northwest Territories. Yeah. A lot of mining up here. Manitoba.
This is
More grain production. Yeah. Stacks and silos, and actually that is a ship. It's a container vessel. So that would be on the Red River down into Lake Superior and then into the Great Lakes.
So we're just gonna very gently, so they don't think we're recording there. Just turn. Show them the ladies.
The ladies over there. Yeah.
So we're not gonna walk right up to them, but they're the goddesses of industry, basically. But because they're close to where the show is,
we won't actually go in there.
Yeah. Let's go over here and just do a zoom in from behind the tree. Okay, go ahead and zoom in on each of them.
BC isn't on their pillar. There's about 3 of those sets around the property, so BC is on one of them.
I think that's my favorite, the one in the middle.
Yeah.
Now these used to be on the side of the old hotel by the pool, which no longer exists. I mean, I know we stayed in that hotel and everything, and it was a great experience, but I'm kind of happy it's gone. It was pretty ugly.
It was a 1960s eyesore.
Yeah. Kidney-shaped pool. Do you want to do this side first, or you want to go there and then back down, or over there?
Let's go over the other side. Yeah,
because they're doing photos over there too.
Yeah.
We'll stay out of other people's photo shoots.
Exactly. So, because there's 10 provinces, and at the time there were 2 territories. There's 3 now because they divided the Northwest Territories up and created the Nunavut Territory. So it's not represented on one of these carvings because it didn't exist at the time. But so there are 12 of those slabs.
These gorgeous gates, these beautiful, beautiful gates. Clean off the top. Gibson House. The gates are from Gibson House, Treedale Avenue, Rosedale. Terracotta stonework is from Produce Exchange Building, Scott and Colson,
Colburn,
yeah. Toronto, southeast corner, built 1890 and modernized in 1935.
Ooh,
so
modern.
Modernized, yeah. So the gates are from the Gibson House.
Modern, yeah.
And the structure, that the brick is from the Produce Exchange Building. So basically, they took it from 2 different buildings and put them together to create the gates to the property, which I think is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We have some beautiful photos in front of these gates.
With us on our wedding party.
Yes, it's quite the property, guys. We're going to be on for a little bit. Come on.
But wait, there's more.
And again, you can get, there's just random little pieces. Some of them with plaques, some of them not. A lot of pieces of building being used as benches instead of actual benches. Mm-hmm. And the park, Guildwood Park goes quite a way.
Into the woods, yeah. So why are we here? We are here just to explore, and we wanted to take advantage of the Haps Local challenge by showing off a local location.
And it's where we got married.
Yeah.
We have so many pictures on this property. Oh my god. Hi, little squirrel. Bye, little squirrel.
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 Someone left a pair of sunglasses behind.
Martin and I are really into the whole art and architecture and
history.
History kind of stuff. So yeah, you can see another one.
A little bench there.
Little bench just made from the part of the building. Hey, little squirrel. Hey, you guys are rarely scared of anyone, are you?
Hi, squirrel. Walking down memory lane. Pretty much, yeah.
I love these.
Yep. Very big. Almost has a bit of a Mayan feel to it, with the style of the carving.
Very much so. But Toronto Star Building, 1929.
Toronto Star, 1929.
See the 1920s influence in it.
Art Deco.
Yeah, very much Art Deco. You can see that these were bottom pillars because the details go down the side. So they were individual pillars, and there was something attached
between
on the lower portion. Oh, yeah. So they've probably been taken around.
I got that feel
from the corners of the building, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's 6 of them. I think 4 is corners. So Toronto Star Building back then had a bit of a unique shape to them. If I remember correctly.
Or there were 6 across the front, or.
Well, no. If I remember correctly, these were up. These were up top.
Oh yeah.
These were cornered because you can see the 2 flat ones there that make the outer edge.
Oh yeah. You come around the side here, you can see that detail there.
Right. But yeah, these were higher up if I remember correctly, because this would have they were taken down 1972. So I would have been little. Well, my father did work for the Star, and so this would have been part of my younger memory before they were taken down, and the building was modernized.
Nico says I'm always fascinated with old Canadian architecture. Yeah, and it's interesting going around downtown and looking at a lot of the historical plaques that they've been putting up a lot of new ones lately too, and seeing the same names coming up on the plaques as the architects and as the the developers and that sort of thing. So
well, and you can also see a lot of the influence in Canadian architecture. You can see a lot of the original British and French influence, like a lot of fleur-de-lis and stuff like that. But you can also see the whole American influence as well, because this kind of style in the 20s was very popular in the United States. And so we were constantly combining a lot of the European styles with a lot of the American styles. And you can see the influences depending on the date of the building as to which they were most influenced by. So this would have been more an American influence at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful property too, so that helps.
Yeah, it's a sort of combination of nature and man-made architecture. Right?
So we'll go up to the plaque in the house and then come back in. Someone's putting birdseed on all the...
Robert Holmes.
Mr. Holmes.
Not Sherlock, but Robert.
He is... the date on this one is 1861 to 1950, I think, or 1990. It's hard to read now because a lot of the brass, they did these brass plated, and a lot of the brass is worn off.
Mm-hmm.
What a face! Like, I mean,
epic
those
mustache.
Eyes, the big mustache and the eyes, the deep kind of almost playful look to his face.
Yeah. Especially when you look at him down here. I mean, look at that. That's just the relief. He's just, the sculpture comes alive.
Beautiful, beautiful work. See if the camera picks up the lettering better.
Yeah, I think actually it says 19.
Drop.
1900, 1861.
See if the camera. Yeah, the camera picks it up better. The lettering much better.
Or to 1890, 1861 to 1890.
Okay. Yeah, it's much easier to read with using the camera.
Yeah. Got the comment, turn away.
Epic mustache, yes.
Foremost painter of Canadian wildflowers. Sculpture by John Byers, 1905 to 1970. Resident Guild
sculptor. So
that
face belongs to the man who went around painting wildflowers.
Painting wildflowers. And if that date's correct, 1861 to 1890. You see 1830? Hang on. 1930. Okay. Now it's much clearer. We're zooming in on it. Okay. So 1861 to 1930. So he was 59 when he died.
When you think about it by today's standards, that's reasonable.
Still pretty good.
Yeah. By then, by that time standards, that's pretty long.
Great archway here.
There we go. I love this archway there. Especially these, because they're so square.
The square fluted columns, yeah.
This kind of fluted column is mostly round, so it's interesting to see the square ones instead. And then you've got, in contrast, the round.
All the nice sort of
flourishing detail.
Yeah.
So we are the main entrance to the Granite Club.
The Granite Club. Oh, that would be the GC up top on the crest there. And it was a curling club because I see the curling rock and brooms.
Nice. 1926 to 1973. 68 St. Clair Avenue West, Toronto. Architects Page and Steele.
Page and Steele. That's a name that actually pops up quite a lot too in Toronto historical architecture.
But I just love the contrast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the case of a lot of these, the bricks were damaged, so not all of these have their original bricks anymore.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, this one, the bricks were replaced when it was put up here. It's similar to the bricks that were originally part of the structure.
Yeah.
But not exactly the
Sounds
same.
like a law firm, Page and Steele. Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
You can see the...
Actually, it sounds like a graphic novel. Page and Steele.
Separating it from the building.
Yeah.
You can see all the uneven damage.
Chiseling work, yeah.
Yeah, from being crumbled and chiseled and just to get it detached from the building. But yeah, this is newer brick. This is not the original brick.
Mm-hmm.
This would have been brick they put, when it came here. It would be similar to the original brick.
Yeah.
They would want to keep that consistency.
Here's another one of those sets of slabs. Oh, this is the eastern one, I think.
Prince Edward Island.
Prince Edward Island. Look at all those potatoes.
All the potatoes. Potato this.
Potato this.
That.
You and your potatoes.
Seagull.
Yeah.
His head's a little worn down. This one you can see they've had the metal strap
it together, yeah.
Separating.
New Brunswick. So I'm not sure the significance of the archery and the cloak. Is it...
The cloak also has a detail.
Yeah.
Which makes me think a native tribe.
Possibly, yeah.
And it's a female archer.
Mm-hmm. Consistency is key, yeah.
And the little sandals on her.
Oh, yeah.
On her feet. You can see the...
They almost look Roman. It almost looks Roman.
It does, doesn't it? But that design is almost... Like, that design is native.
Yeah, because Roman would be a little bit more square pattern.
Yeah.
Like that sort of back and forth square.
Yeah, this zigzag is indigenous.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to look it up.
I know, yeah.
Never really stopped to think about it.
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland.
The fisheries, the codfish.
With the happy fisherman.
Happy fisherman. Oh yeah, he's really happy.
No, come on, find me a fisherman that's this good looking.
I know, really. They're usually all wrinkled and wizened and missing teeth, and they look like high tops from our point of view. Yeah, almost.
All the flying fish. With that crescent.
Fins,
this
yeah.
one, unfortunately, is really crumbling. You can see the...
Oh, yeah. Kind of coming apart at the waist, yeah. This one is the Arctic, just sort of in general.
I'm assuming that this might be the whole, sun and dark.
Could be, yeah.
Because half the year is dark and half the year is sun.
Mm-hmm.
Sun never sets for 6 months.
Yep. Land of the Midnight Sun, as they call it.
Yep. That's the Arctic. All right. Come on, let's introduce you guys to the building that started it all.
We have a few people wandering around too.
Oh, where'd the pot go?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, it's lying over there. Huh.
Well, that's not good.
No, that's not going to help us. Yeah,
it's supposed to be lying on its side.
And it's lying on its side.
It may have gotten, it may have gotten knocked over.
Could be, yeah.
You want my one?
Okay. That'll do.
It's not as heavy as it looks.
No, it's probably all aluminum.
All right.
One on
this one?
Yep.
Okay. So get yourself in there.
It's the history of the Guild. It's the origin in 1914. Construction of the Bickford residence commenced. A two-story residence for General Harold Bickford, which is the building that's just to our left right now. And it goes to the 1920s. Harold Bickford sold the property in 1921. It was owned and operated by the China Mission College and served as a boarding school for young missionaries bound for China. In 1923, the mission outgrew the premises and left the site. Richard Veach Look owned the property from 1923 to 1932. Then the arrow takes us over to here, 1932, the birth of the Guild Inn.
There you go, Spencer and Rosa Clark.
Yeah. A couple with similar social consciences and aspirations purchased the property. Clarks formed the Guild of All Arts, an artist cooperative and center for Canadian artists. Their dream is fulfilled, and the Guild Inn flourished as a residence for craftsmen from 1932 to 1943. 1934. By the mid-1930s, people were coming in droves to the Guild Inn to see the operation. The West Kitchen was expanded to provide meals for visitors. 1937, the ground floor addition.
There's all the additional structure on either side.
Was added, as well as a gift shop, followed by a further expansion of the wings to provide additional guest rooms. Over the years, Rosa and Spencer Clark acquired a further 500 acres and small cottages around the Guild Inn. They moved into a nearby two-story summer house called Corrycliff Lodge. By the early 1940s, the Guild Inn became a country inn. Go away. Okay. Guild Inn became a country inn set amid working artisans surrounded by magnificent grounds. During World War II, the Guild Inn shut down and provided radio telepathy training for the WRENS, the Women's Royal Canadian Naval Service, and also served as a hospital for war veterans. The Guild of All Arts reopened in 1947. Following the war, the Guild Inn could no longer subsidize artists. The inn was primarily used for visitors. Growth of Guildwood Village. 1950s, as property taxes dramatically increased, the Clarks were forced to sell 400 acres, resulting in the growth of the Guildwood Village community surrounding the Guild Inn. 60s, the post-war years brought a building boom, bringing a quest for modernization and the demolition of many of Toronto's heritage buildings. Spencer became involved with preserving Toronto's architectural heritage, saving architectural fragments when buildings were demolished, and re-erected them at the Guild Inn. So that's where that whole thing started. There you go, 1965, a 6-story concrete hotel wing was added, along with a swimming pool. Visitation to the Guild Inn increased. That included dignitaries, ambassadors, movie stars, and musicians. By the late 1970s, the Clarks were aging and in poor health. Rosa died in 1981. Spencer died in 1986.
So we got married 10 years after Rosa passed away.
Yeah, 5 years after Spencer. The city acquired the property in 1978. Various groups managed the site with no success. Numerous proposals were made, but none presented a viable business plan. The 6-story hotel was demolished in 2009, and the Guild Inn was fenced in.
And then
2017, the Dynamic Hospitality and Entertainment Group reopened the site in April 2017 as the Guild Inn Estate, complete with the renovation of the original Bickford House, plus the addition of a 4,000 square foot gazebo and a 25,000 square foot event center. That's what we have here today.
Yes, so we're going to move away from these people so we
get the feeling they're probably having a bit of a meeting about a wedding reception. Yeah, planning a wedding.
So, when we got married here in 1991, so that's the original building. Unfortunately, that tent is there, so we'll walk past it as best we can. So the original building was here in 91, and then there was like a little foyer where that little foyer is. And then right here was a very large, hotel that went from there. And so that parking lot was part of the building. So the building went all the way over. And that's where we, of course, stayed for our first official married night together, however you want to word it. So this whole area here. And then the pool was down here.
Right here. It still gets a little mushy down there, too. I think when they filled the pool, I don't think they took the pool out. So water probably collects in there.
Yeah, there might still be the pool down there. That's true. So
the pool
this
basement
is the
itself.
Original building, 1914. and they had to completely refurbish it and bring it back to its original look and state. So it basically stayed looking the same through all of this, and everything just built up around it. And what they had done back then is, if you look past here, you can see the little convention center. It's just a little two-story convention center that they put over there. And what used to be over there is an extension to the building and sort of like a work yard. And that's where they put all the extra offices for booking weddings and all that kind of stuff. But they tore that down because it just wasn't rescuable. It was part of the 1940s addition to the structure. So it wasn't survivable. It just wasn't survivable. So they tore it down and put the little two-story convention center there. But yeah, this is the original house. This is the 1914 house. And it's front. It's got a little covered area and stuff like that. So I'm very happy to see that they rescued it. And we heard in 2009 that they had torn down the hotel and basically boarded up the place. Martin and I were devastated. We were like, no. So when we heard that they were doing this, it was like, yes. But now we got to make sure it doesn't go under, which means if I had the money, I'd be doing every event here.
Oh yeah, support it as best we could.
We also, I heard rumors that the art market will come back in September.
Okay.
If the regulations remain like pretty
safe. If things stay open the way they are right now.
If no one.
Well, so far Ontario's numbers have dropped, even with the new openings. So that's a good sign.
Now these trees have grown a lot since.
They have, yeah.
But there you go. Same pillars, same archway.
Same Hercules.
Same as
that's Hercules, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, that's Hercules. With the lion skin on top.
Yeah.
The lion head. Shame on you, Hercules. Yep. Center entrance of the Bank of Toronto, 1912 to 1966. So this building is still there, but all the front is completely changed, completely modernized, completely changed. So I'd circle around and then come back over there.
Mm-hmm.
It is quite, to show you guys all the pieces here, it is quite the dance.
Trying to remember the one out of the labors of Hercules. Was it called the Nemean lion?
Yes.
I believe it was the lion that he was sent to kill because it was unkillable. Oh, chipmunk.
There's so little left of this grinding wheel.
I know.
Every time we come, it's deteriorated a little more.
Yeah. This is similar to the mill wheel down at the distillery district.
Yes, very similar and very similar in age.
Good Roman warts, yeah.
Late 1700s, if I remember. Its plaque is missing now.
Well, hello,
hello, little chipmunk.
Oh, it's a little red squirrel, actually.
Oh, it's a red squirrel?
Picking up on that.
Okay. Better than bread any day.
Mm-hmm.
People who feed animals bread should be shot. We shouldn't even be eating white bread.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, yeah. The music hall, the Royal Conservatory of Music.
And the building's still standing, thankfully.
Yep.
But they changed a lot of the outside of it in order to put modern additions on. So you can see that this is the brick that's closer to what that brick should be.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dark, burnt, umber type effect. That was very, very popular for the time. And I love this, the crest, the wreaths.
Yeah.
1897 to 1988. So I used to work for these guys.
That's right.
That was years ago, but I used to work for these guys. I was part of a fundraising campaign. That was 1994, 1995.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
So, and these are, I love these. These are just, they're painted to look like metal, but they're not. They're actually stone.
Oh, they're actually stone, yeah. Yeah, they look like the old copper rubbings, copper etchings. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very clever paint.
I guess those are the two founders of the
conservatory. Yeah.
Conservatory. Yeah.
Mama bear. I have so many pictures of me with Mama bear.
There you go. Katie found the link. The Labors of Heracles. Heracles, as his name is actually pronounced, not Hercules.
I know. But who actually pronounces it the way it's supposed to?
I know, yeah.
Mama bear has never had a plaque. So I'm assuming she's one of the local artists, but you know, it's really hard to tell, you know, what her actual age is. But this is cement, so what I'm thinking is they carved it and then they
made a mold
of it and then poured the cement. So there's probably other mama bears out there. There's probably
Might be, yeah.
versions of her out there, and this is just one. But there's no plaque, so we're not sure of the age. But she probably came from one of the local artists. Is my assumption. But I love her. It's almost a very native, a very First Nations style. When you think about it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a larger version of the little bears that you find in the gift shops.
Oh yeah.
Made out of jade.
Yeah, actually.
She's like a big cement version of the jade bears. So yes, she's one of my favorite pieces. I have many photos of being with Mama Bear.
Yep.
Every time I'm dressed up and on the property, I have to have a picture with Mama
That's
Bear.
right. The link didn't work? Oh, interesting. It looks it looks good. You know, people can type it out or something. Oh, here we go.
Don't click on it.
10 labors. Okay. Kill the Nemean lion, right? The Lernian hydra, the Cyrenian hind, which is a stag, the Erymanthian boar, clean the stables of Augeas in one day, kill the Stymphalian birds, capture the Cretan bull, steal the mares of Diomedes, steal the girdle of the queen of the Amazons, Hippolyta, and to steal the cattle of the monster Geryon.
These weren't here before.
Which weren't? Oh.
These.
Oh, look at that.
These weren't here before.
Albert and Victoria.
Oh,
or Victoria and Albert. Queen Victoria.
It doesn't have its plaque yet. It looks like they took from another.
Yeah, they look like mounts from a stand of some kind originally.
That is awesome. That's really nice. Yeah, they've had to fix the back from the looks of it.
Yeah.
Well, and you can just see the building through.
So I'm just realizing, you know, the labors of Heracles, he's sent to kill things, steal things.
Yes. It's that whole god
capture
thing,
things.
You know?
Oh, I know, yeah. Albert Edward.
Well, I hope they put the plaques on them soon.
I know, yeah.
I wonder what buildings these came from. These are gorgeous.
They are. Very cool.
So yeah, you can see the little convention center. It's basically one story here and then 2 stories, like a little upper level.
On the other side, yeah.
Hello, beautiful. Something in your hair? Something in your hair. You know what? I've never seen her with her hand.
Nope. It was a hand. Did you bring the hand?
So, Imperial Bank of Canada, 1928 to 1972, 802 Yonge Street, north of Bloor, Toronto. Architects Langley and Howland. But it doesn't say who she is.
So, yeah, you got these massive marble This is all marble,
This
too.
is all marble.
The Marble Arch. Not to be confused with another famous marble arch.
I think she's Venus or
she could be
Aphrodite.
Venus. Well, yeah.
But yeah, her foot's missing, and her hand's missing. Because I'm thinking that would have been the giveaway, is what was in her hand. What was in the
other hand, yeah. And she's missing the fingers off of her forward hand, too. Just like any other ancient sculptures. But the purple on these the pansies, they're flowers, just so intense. Bunch of pansies.
Now, I guess we're going to weave a little bit and then come back and go to the middle again.
Yeah, starting to notice mosquitoes.
Yeah, mosquitoes are coming out.
Yep. Labor 11, stealing the apples from the Garden of Hesperides. Yep. Labor 12, capturing Cerberus, guardian of the underworld.
Yes.
That's right. The three-headed hound.
I mean, these pillars are just massive.
It says boys.
Yes. Arch King. Yep, Arch King. 1922 1922. The boys' one is here. The archway is here. The girls' archway is still on the Arch King property.
That's right.
At the corner of the property where the original building stood. So what happened is they tore down the original building and they left the girls' doorway up. And the boys' doorway they brought over here to just put up on display. But yeah, think about it. In the 1920s, they still had a boys and a girls.
Yeah, gender segregated entrances. My high school had that. Your high school? Too, yeah. Obviously not when I went there, but in its original days it did.
So yeah, the girls' one is a standalone like this, and it's where the original corner of RH King was. And RH King is the public school that's not far from Cardinal Newman, the Catholic school I went to. And we always had one of these friendly rivals with RH King. You know, all of my friends are actually from RH King. And, yeah, we tease each other endlessly at times. And,
oh yeah, and, rival schools.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And RH King was public system, yours was the Catholic system, right? Yeah. So.
Yep, RH King was public. But again, that same dark umber brick.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all the original brick. But it's kind of interesting now because with the girls' archway still in the corner of the property, and you see the modern school behind it, modern 1970s, and it's such a weird shot. I think I have a photograph somewhere that I took with my camera at the time, and it's such a weird shot because it's such a great old classic archway, and then the modern school in the distance framed by the archway. But what I love about these archways is they look so churchy. You know, the shape of them. Yeah. It's almost like a church window.
Yeah.
And there's that pivot point where the weight kind of comes towards itself.
Yeah.
Helping it stay structural. So it looks like we timed our arrival here right, because we are starting to lose light.
Needs a drawbridge door and a moat. Yeah, really? Yeah. Grand Admiral Thrawn, how are you?
I just love how big this is. Like this.
I know. It's so huggable. Barely huggable. How's it going? It's going okay.
I don't hug trees.
We're out on a little walk through memory lane and little history of Toronto through the architecture that was rescued over the 1960s from various buildings that were being demolished.
Deeds and land titles. 1915 to 1964 on Albert Street. Albert Street is tiny.
Yeah, it's like a one block. Yeah.
So imagine all this stuff, like most of the way up until them. Didn't get close to it.
Oh, yeah. And according to the building itself, it was built in AD 1899.
Yes, it was. Canadian Bank of Commerce. 1899 to 1972. Young and Bluer.
Young and Bluer.
Just can you imagine carving all that?
Oh, I know. This is like so intricate. Nice. Did you guys experience them in their heyday? Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah. No, a lot of these buildings were demolished before our time, even. But the property that we're on here, the couple that used to run it up until the early 1980s, they rescued a lot of architecture from buildings that were being demolished in the 1960s. It's not like people back then had anything else to do, no internet, exactly. And this was basically an artists' cooperative for quite a number of years.
The original house is behind that tent.
Behind those trees. But Admiral, this is also where Christina and I got married back in '91. And the amphitheater where we got married is actually a little theater production is going on there right now.
See, now this is unfortunate. That's the original plaster wall.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see how delicate it is now. It's all, they've been trying to patch it up so it doesn't all fall. But, you know, they mounted these to how thin they are. They mounted them to large bricks.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just falling away now. They're just giving up the boot because of how long they, like, I mean, this is original.
Gradually crumbling, yeah. Yeah.
So of course the weather's getting to them because they weren't designed to be like this. They were designed to be on a building.
Yeah. And he's just nice. Which monument did you guys get married under? It's the amphitheater is actually part of the original Toronto Dominion Bank, or the Dominion Bank of Toronto building.
So it's hard to read it again, because there's not enough light here. The Provincial Park Building.
Paper building, yeah. Yeah, I see the light is a little bit low.
Provincial Paper Building.
Yeah.
Martin can read easier with the camera, but it looks like 1930?
Yep. To 68.
So that was the year I was born.
That's the pediment. That's this piece right here. And then the three Ionic capitals from the Abitibi building. And that's these guys right here.
So 1930 to 1968.
The Dominion are in Toronto? Yes, they are.
And then the upper piece.
The egg and arrow, bead and rail, and rosette carvings. Oh, wow.
1912.
King and Bay, Bank of Toronto. Yes, that's the Toronto Dominion again.
So we've got multiple buildings in this piece.
Hey, Harold.
Hey, Jill.
The Quebec Bank. 1818. Look at that.
I love these lines.
I know, they got such character. They got quite the hairdo. They've got quite the hairdo.
But that's
I think that's marble.
Yep, it's marble.
Yeah.
It's cracking so much over the years, but can you imagine just sanding down all this marble?
Mm-hmm. What's our 20? We're down at the Guild Inn out in Scarborough.
So this plaque has
it's kind of shifted
back. So demolished for Commerce Court, Quebec Bank, 1818, 1912 to 1969. Lion Heads and Plaques, Toronto General Trust Building. Yeah. 1819 to 1969. And merged with the Canada Permanent Trust in 1960. So these are from 1819.
Wow. That predates Queen Victoria.
Yep. And this one still got his ring.
Yep. The lower jaw on his ring.
And you can see what's broken off that one is everything from here down.
Yeah.
That's broken off that middle one. So it's almost like they're designed to look like large knockers.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
we're not that kind of broadcast.
It looks like the marble is being thinly laid, if you look closely, on top of stone underneath.
Yeah, that's interesting, yeah. Or I wonder if it was glazed. I wonder.
It feels like a marble.
They look identical, so they're not carved. I'm looking at the details. The details are identical. They're not carved. So they may have been cast in clay, like.
Yeah, it could be clay.
And then glazed with some kind of a, well, obviously a glaze.
But that looks, it almost looks like ivory when you think about it.
Almost, yeah.
Because you look how thin it is and all the cracking marks in it.
This would be a great place to set up a tent and sleep, yeah.
That's a lot of ivory.
That's a lot of, yeah.
Oh, it's really nice being here after everyone's gone and everything.
Yeah.
We've sat on the amphitheater in the dark, and we'll bring bug spray and a candle, and you sit quietly enough. Deer come through here all the time.
Grazing in the grass,
you can just see them in the silhouettes of the lights over by the building, because there really aren't any really strong lights out here after dark. And yeah, you'll see the deer just grazing in the dark, and it's just beautiful.
And then if you're not careful, you get caught by the sprinklers.
Yeah, that was fun that night.
Dodging sprinklers on the way, running back to the car. Are you allowed to eat deer there? Well, if you have a hunting license, you can hunt deer. Yes, and venison is legal in Canada. But I don't think you wouldn't want to hit not here on the park's property. You have to be out in the wild.
And again, this is marble.
Sprinklers are a free shower. Well, yeah, there is the marble archway. Established 1832, and the plaque says Bank of Nova Scotia.
1903 to 1969. So you think about all this marble was 1903 to 1969, and then it gets moved here. Buildings torn down like 66 years it's up, and then gets torn down.
Yeah. Is that the exit to the holodeck? Yeah. Somewhere around here's the Guardian Forever. I don't know where you... The new or the old one. Getting a cramp?
At one time there were shuffleboard markings on these.
You can almost see them.
Almost.
Yeah, see a little bit of diagonal lines there. Did you see the Guardian Forevers in the new Discovery? Yeah. That's what I was referring to, the Guardian Forever, either the old one or the new one. It was a neat concept they did.
Put in the shuffleboard, it's popular.
Yep.
And they just faded over the years. The grumpiest Angel Michaels I've ever seen.
Yeah, the Archangel Michael. The grumpy Gus.
Why they're so grumpy. I mean, they look like they had a really bad day.
And it's like,
Bank of Nova Scotia.
These would have been
1903 to 1969.
So these would have probably been way up at the top of the building. Looks like its head could be removed. Yeah, well, the head's actually was carved as a separate piece. You see the seam line right across the top of the wings, right?
And there's another one near his waist.
Yeah, it's like every foot or so this horizontal seam. A lot easier to manage than trying to move a 6 foot tall, 8 foot tall sculpture up the side of a building.
He's just so grumpy.
He is, yeah. The downturned mouth, the kind of crossed arms. He's pouting.
He's being judgmental. That's Michael for you?
Judge not, lest ye be judged yourself.
But you can see a little bit of brick through the...
Yeah, through the concrete falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah, can you imagine this all the way up at the top of the building?
Yeah. And by top of the building, we mean like 6 or 7 stories tall, really, maybe 10 at the most at the time.
Oh, it's so nice to see the amphitheater lit up.
I know, yeah. Yeah. we won't actually record the show because, well, you know, we don't have the rights to.
A little bit of it at this point.
Yeah. There we go. They might have had to cut it up to move it. Yeah, probably, very likely. Yeah. So there we go. There's the amphitheater where we were married 31 years ago. Are those free bikes? No.
Hmm?
Are those free bikes? Those probably belong to the two people that are sitting on the bench next to the bikes. But yeah, you have a choice of buying probably a fairly reasonably priced ticket to actually sit in there where it's easier to hear the performance, or just hang around in the grass for free.
But the money from the tickets goes to help save all these structures and pieces.
But yeah, the columns and the archways from that amphitheater were also from the Toronto Dominion Bank downtown at the corner of King and Bay Streets.
You're pointing at them or me?
Pointing at you. I'll point at them.
When you're talking about the structure, point to the structure.
Well, yeah.
No, there's no alcohol.
No, they're not licensed for this event. You have to jump through a lot of hoops to get a public liquor license in Toronto.
Well, because of the nature of the property, they book weddings and they book special events. So anything that's an alcohol event must be booked through the restaurant in the building.
Yeah.
In the main building, you're not allowed to do your own. Although in the middle of the night, again, we've come here really late, and there's usually someone sitting in the grass, and people socializing with some beer or some wine. Just don't leave the containers behind. And we've done so too. We've come in the middle of the night and we've sat on the steps and brought a bottle of wine with us and split it. And Harold's gonna think about that late at night.
Harold says back in a bit, have to walk the dogs alone. Jennifer tripped and slid into the stream bed yesterday and foobarred her leg. That and a double crown today. Fun times. Oh, wish her the best.
Yeah.
And yes, Admiral, they are socially distancing. They've got the chairs in little groups of 4, so you can come with a maximum party of 4.
Same with restaurants. You don't have to have more than 4 people at a table.
And the tables are spread out more, more space, right? Like taking out every second table or something like that. Urban Market Picks and Social Hall, housed in the former RBC building. What's that refer to, Katie? Yep, getting bit by mosquitoes. Yeah, we better move away from the production there. Language is not is NSFW. I've heard the F-bomb a few times, and
yes, there's the original house. Yeah.
With a tent in front of it. So now we're going to go around front. NSFW is a badge of honor. Yeah, really. Especially when we have no control over it, right?
I'm not sure what play they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they're doing a wedding rehearsal or something, so we'll walk around.
Oh, there, yeah.
Yes, and it doesn't end here in the back. There's more in the front.
There's more, but wait, there's more. Hold on, we've said that a few times in this broadcast. Do you both still have your wedding attire and still fit into it? No. No, my tux was a rental.
I still have my wedding dress. I don't fit into it, but I plan on pulling it apart because we want to make winter cherries.
2 TARDISes, yeah. And luckily they're handicapped TARDISes. So Daleks can fit in them. Or fit through the doors.
So this used to be the hotel. It used to...
Yeah, where we're standing right now. Yes, the non-floating Daleks. That's right, yeah. Oh, I remember that was just a big thing back in, what was it, 1989 or something, when Remembrance of the Daleks was released. And Sylvester, you know, the Seventh Doctor's down in the basement of the school, and the Daleks materialize, and he thinks he can escape them by going up the stairs, and then it suddenly levitates and climbs the stairs. That was such a big moment in Doctor Who fandom, you know. It's like, oh my god, they conquered stairs. Now they can all fly, you know. Whenever. Otherwise, you could just put a rug underneath them. Exactly. And then pull the rug out from under them. Hey, I've been a Dalek, I know. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have been a Dalek.
I have been a Dalek.
Putting things on the ground so you can roll over.
Roll over them and eat. Yeah, putting snacks and drinks on the ground.
There you go. The front of the original house.
Yeah. Restored as it was back in the 1920s.
1914.
At least you're not as ugly as Davros. Yes.
1914.
1914.
So they had added on in the 1940s. They had added on another wing here that is now gone. So they demolished that and put their new little convention center in. It wasn't able to be rescued. And then there was the 1960s hotel attached that way. And they said the only thing that they really couldn't rescue externally was there was original little bay window where the stairs are. So they basically fudged something that doesn't stick out too much, but took place of the bay window, and it was easier to install that window. So that window is not from the original design, but it was installed where the bay window was. There was a little bay window with a little seating area in the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So they put that in instead because they couldn't rescue the bay window. But I love how it's almost like a lodge type look to the
with the front, yeah.
And that was very different in '91 too.
Yeah, especially with being the Douglas fir construction. Right. But it almost looks like that was like a little carriageway where the carriages would pull up undercover, you know, offload their passengers. And oh, that's right. The other provinces are up here, up front. That's right. Now I see them.
I think this is beautiful, the way they did the wings and the flow of the
carrying the globe.
Down. You see your feet here. These, both sides here, these are from the North American Life Insurance Building, 1932 to 1936.
1932 to 1976. So again, only been like 44 years that the building was up.
They did a lot of demolishing in the 70s, which is kind of
yeah.
Shame. And this is like my favorite horse head.
Oh yeah, it's got real attitude.
I mean, don't fight with that horse.
Check this horse. Who needs old buildings? Tear them down. Yeah, really. Check that. Actually, I gotta go from this. Actually, I'm just sorry to say, I'm just noticing or thinking he looks a little like Alf. I'm noticing mostly on the camera. I'm sorry.
That's not nice.
But this was the International Order of Foresters.
The Empire Building. You can see it right there.
Or Temple Building.
Temple Building. And then we've got I.
Itself.
O.
And E. F.
No, that's the bottom.
That's it. Oh, okay. So what did the E for?
Temple Building, Independent Order of Foresters.
Independent Order of Foresters. Okay, not International Order of Foresters.
Bay in Richmond, 1895 to 1978. So this was up a lot longer.
Yeah.
But that's yeah. You think it was? What is the E? So that's just a fancy way of doing it.
I think it's a very fancy F, or it would have had the same kind of flourish as the top of the E. Is Forrest Whitaker a member of that club? Who knows? So is DeForest Kelley. You know?
Oh, you people are making me moan. Well, make me moan.
Moan.
So yes, the building that we had our reception in, the studio, is no longer there.
It was right there.
That's that big gap on the other side of the parking lot. It's gone.
Even the parking lot was smaller than that, wasn't it?
Yes, the parking lot was a lot smaller than that.
LOL. And Forrest Gump. I forgot about Forrest Gump.
Because they had the extra parking was down there, next to
Right.
the end of the hotel. So the hotel
Off
went
of
all the
this
way down
back
where
there,
that parking lot is.
That's
and
right.
there was a pathway. They put bushes there now. The parking lot is still down there, but they don't. You know, they've got all the extra parking here that they didn't have before. So it's
Makes sense,
not
yeah.
used as much as it used to be.
This is the Ontario Wildlife plaques, isn't it? Or carvings. Who doesn't love a good bush?
These are Bank of Montreal pieces, all of them, all the different animals of Bank of Montreal. So we've got the howling wolves, 1948 to 1972. So we've got the howling wolves at the moon.
Nice.
And we got the skunk.
Nice.
This is the best kind of skunk you can pet. You know,
That's right, yeah, it doesn't spray. Polecat.
Polecat. And then we've got the bear next? Yeah. No, it's not a bear.
Yeah, it's a bear.
Oh, it's a polar
Polar bear. Okay, so it's not the animals of Ontario, it's the animals of Canada. Because there are no polar bears in Ontario.
No. It's got the polar bear.
Pole dancing bear, yes.
Beaver.
Beaver. Nice beaver.
Nice beaver. You like that beaver?
It's an awesome beaver.
But you know, we're
not that kind of broadcast.
Those of you who get that joke, bravo.
Huh. The walrus. A pair of nice beavers. But wait, there's only one on the... Oh. Right.
And then last, but not
least. Yes.
The buffalo. He's such a grouchy looking buffalo.
I know, yeah.
He looks very
Walrus man, yeah. Beat me to it, yeah. Bison, yeah, the North American bison. Oh, I guess the kids are taking some caution tape home.
Yeah.
So if they throw it up in the air, they're throwing caution to the wind.
Oh.
So anyway, sorry, you were saying?
So what used to be here was again that extra piece that was added on. So now it's the little convention center, and you can see that building there is the one that's replaced the original pottery building that was falling apart. So it's now a 2-floor work center, and then there's an extra they took one of the other storage facilities and rescued most of it and turned it into another workspace and storage facility. So they're more productively now preparing these things. And what's happening now is because of how many pieces have been sitting in that building for that many years, they're starting to put them at other historical sites around Toronto. If you go down to University and Queen Street, yes, University and Queen Street, the old Heritage House there has got some of these pieces in their front yard. So they're starting to actually refurbish them, rescue them, and place them all throughout the city again. So it's kind of interesting to see the pieces of architecture going back into the city that they came out of. So that's made me very happy. And yes, there's the other 4. Now don't trip this time, right?
Oh, yeah, I did last time, didn't I?
Yep, you did.
There's a bit of a drop here.
Now this is the one that actually has the plaques on it.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Right.
So here we go. Here's British Columbia.
Here's British Columbia.
Forestry and fishing.
Salmon.
Salmon.
So, Bank of Montreal, 1948 to 1972.
There we go.
So this is the one that actually has the information on it. Here's Imperial. Yep, that says it.
little bit of everything. Industry, yep. And we got art, we've got mining, we've got
sciences technically.
Yeah, sciences,
Well,
medicine. It's the masons. It's basically it's the architecture, right? Yeah.
That's medical science.
Yeah.
No, we're not full of ourselves in Ontario.
Yeah.
In comparison to the other provinces, we're not modest at all.
What is it, Katie? This is these are slabs from what was the Bank of Montreal building, depicting the different provinces and territories. Earlier in the broadcast, there were 2 other columns that had the other 8, and then that would make this side here.
There's Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
I love the way this boat is done.
Oh yeah, the perspective on it. Here, let me try and get back up over here where I can see it better. Here we go.
It's almost like a Canadian, what am I thinking? Shell.
The Birth of Venus painting, yeah.
Nova Scotia, she's got a ship with her shell.
Yep.
Shells in her hand. And then over here,
Quebec.
Quebecois. So mostly the arts, like we've got a musical.
Yeah. And beekeeping. I think that's a beehive, isn't it?
Looks like a beehive.
Yeah. Perhaps.
So, and that's for all of the plaques. That's all the list of artists.
Oh wow.
For all
12 of them.
And 12 of them.
And this interesting sort of urn at the top of this one. I think this was the original one that was put in. So the other ones, they didn't go all out with all the other detail in the base and everything else.
Well, the other ones, if you remember correctly, were on the side of the hotel.
That's right, yeah.
Because there was the goddesses down by the pool, and these guys were around the side of the back deck area.
That's right, yeah.
That big platform area.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so they were all along, but I don't remember if these 4 were separate or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're in the best shape of them, of all of them.
And the most specifically presented too, right?
Yeah.
With the little steps in the base and everything.
But they weren't out here before. So yes, the studio used to be back here, but unfortunately, squatters kind of spread the down.
Unfortunate,
all
yeah.
Insulation, it went up like that.
An old wood frame too, right? So.
Yep, and again, the wishing well is now a planter.
Big time.
There are tons of photographs of bride and groom like married, couples putting coins in the wishing well.
Oh yeah.
And again, when the building was abandoned, the water supplies were all cut off because this wishing well doesn't actually go to a water supply. It was almost like a fountain when you think about it. It had water being pumped into it. But I'm assuming at one time it may have been connected to an actual, underground
well system or something.
But yeah, with all the neglect and everything, it was just the water was stale and icky, and it was smelly, and so they turned it into a planter, just like the fountain out there. So let's end our big archways. Oh yeah, and the kiln there.
See the red brick there?
That's the little red brick chimney and kiln. There was a smaller pottery building out here at one time, and that's what's left of it is just the kiln. The building itself is gone, but the kiln survives. And the studio was originally a 2-floor cottage, and it was one of a series of cottages that existed on the property. They're all gone now, unfortunately, but it's a shame that one burnt down because it's a beautiful building. Absolutely beautiful building.
Oh, I know. The parking lot lights came on, but those haven't yet. I'm going to let her get closer so you can see a perspective of how big these are. There we go. So yeah, it's too bad the lights haven't come on yet.
It's awesome when the lights come on.
Yeah. We got a great photograph of the two of us sitting in these archways in our wedding outfits.
My shoes off, and you can just see my shoes in front of me, and it was a really cool shot. I think he took it from that side.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a great, and he blew. It's funny because when we came in to pick up our pictures and our negatives from him, he had this particular shot of us blown up massively and on his wall framed already. And he's just like, I love it. You guys are small, so you have to blow it up that big. I'm like, wow. And we're looking at it. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And he took it with his 5x5, which was even cooler.
Yeah.
Because it's a square shot. And he printed it as square and custom framed it as square. And it was just gorgeous. He had a 5x5 negative camera with him, which is just like,
slide in a big negative, take a photo, and
yeah. And he had his 35 mil, of course.
Yeah.
But so he had his two cameras with him, so he kept playing with these shots with the 5x5, and the negatives are like that big.
Yeah.
Huge negatives, so you can get so much detail. This was Bankers Bond Building. I can no longer read the date; it's too dark. I think it's 1920. So I was going to end here because these lights should be on by now, but they're not. So let's go to the front.
Let's go to the front.
Remember, in 91 when we got married, this was a wood deck.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Right? This looks like a newer version of what was here. So there was the over canopy, and there was one of those cloth canopies off the front door.
Right, yeah.
And a wooden deck. So they've re-put this back in, because this was originally what was, you look at the old pictures when the building was built, it did have a wooden structure like this. So
yeah.
Martin's right, 1914 carriages would have come through here. Or, if you were rich enough, like you had your little car, your little Tia.
And they have it ramped too still, so I think they still will do that for, if somebody wants to do a carriage for their wedding.
But when we got married, this wasn't here. They had the classic cloth front that you see on a lot of the restaurants and everything, and it was a wooden deck that led up to the doors. So there's a lot of photographs in front of this building from that deck. People would go up and take their pictures on the deck with the building behind, and that light keeps coming and going.
I didn't do it. It's not me.
You got to imagine, too, 1914, it wouldn't be these lights. It would be like gas lamps, where these pillars are. There wouldn't have been lights. So they've put it back as close as as close as they can to the original structure that was here. So they've changed a lot of things back to what it would have been, which is kind of cool. I kind of wish, like Martin and I are hoping that next year if we do like a friendship or a renewal of some sort, which we'd like to do because we really are very frustrated about missing our 30th wedding anniversary because of COVID.
And it'll be the 35th anniversary of the day we met.
Yeah, the day we met. So
and that's what we're going to focus on from now on.
Something special with friends and stuff. But we would love to, we're thinking of doing like a friendship thing and just inviting other couples or other friends that want to basically just declare their friendship to each other. And Martin and I could do like a king and queen type thing. And, we want to do it here. We want to come back and be able to rent, but it's like the cheapest rental is what, $3,000?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that for 50 people.
Yeah.
But it's next year. It's next May. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to do it. It would be kind of cool if everything's a success and we can do it. Because I'd love to come back here. We've got pictures of ourselves on our 10th wedding anniversary here in our medieval outfits, and there's a park nearby, Morningside Park. It was really cheap to rent one of the fire pits, and we got our liquor license and everything. And we had our ceremony, and we snuck over here. No, we did it before we even had the ceremony.
Yeah, we came here first for the photos, and then
did a whole bunch of photos.
That gave our volunteers a chance to set everything up and get the fire pit going. And
yeah, so we and then we went over and did our ceremony and everything. The hardest thing about the Guild Inn now, because Guildwood Estates, because the inn is gone. Guildwood Estates, it's gone back to that original classification. You're not allowed to picnic or have a gathering where you're cooking your own food. You have to use the restaurant, and I understand that because part of the reason is they need finances to keep this estate going. They need finances to keep these buildings up. So all the money goes into Guildwood, including like the public shows. They have like art markets here, and the artists it's like $150 per tent space or something like that, or $20 per tent space, and all that money all the money, anything that happens on this property, the money goes back into this property. Unlike other parks where it goes into the park system, this is the one part of the Toronto park system where the money goes into this park, not any other park. So it's something that Martin and I would love to be able to be in the position to support. It's like, they just rescued the place, and then COVID hits. It's wrong. It's horrible. So Martin and I would really dearly love to see this place survive. And
oh yeah.
Like I said, it's a shame that the studio's gone because it was a beautiful little building. It had a great little banquet hall inside, and it had the bride and groom rooms upstairs.
Extra little lounge off to the side.
Yeah, the sunroom / lounge with the big, huge, massive windows all the way around.
Yep.
Just beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. And it's no longer there. That just shatters my heart.
Mm-hmm.
But we're happy to see that they did rescue most of it, and just the doors are a little different from the original photograph. There used to be an arched wooden kind of carved thing over the door. No one knows where it went, and it didn't have the three. It had a standard wood door with the glass, the kind of frosted glass window in it. So they weren't able to revive that either. They don't know where it went. It went missing because that's what it was when Martin and I got married.
Mm-hmm.
So they've done the best they can to get the feel of the building, which is nice, and keep their budget reasonable because this was a massive undertaking. Trying to take off the two pieces off each end, demolish the pieces off each end without affecting the original 1914 building. That's huge. Look at all this old stucco. And that's just, crumble city if you do it wrong.
Oh yeah.
But Martin, if you want to sit next to me,
yeah,
I can pull myself back down, have a seat on the cold marble. It's actually not cold.
No,
which is great.
Everything's warm right now,
including you.
Oh yeah.
So I hope everyone enjoyed that. Pablo and Peter, thank you for the Habs Challenge this week because we've been kind of talking about coming back out here for a walk and kind of get some fresh air together and some time together because now with Martin in that program, we're not going to get this many chances for the next little while. Yeah. I'm going to be doing a lot of broadcasts alone, so we've been discussing getting back out here, and then when we saw the Habs Challenge, we thought,
this counts as local.
Yeah, this counts as local. And we're people who are like, if it's in a half-hour driving distance, it's local, and this is within a half-hour driving distance. Oh hell, even Oshawa isn't local. There you go, Katie. Oshawa's not local.
Christina looks like she's about to vampire Martin's neck. No, if anything, I should be.
Yeah, really. I got like flat teeth. He's got those fangs.
She has no fangs.
I kind of lost my fangs.
Does that make you a herbivore? No, wait a minute.
No, I had fangs.
I know. That's right.
But my new teeth grew in, and they wound up getting flat because they were soft, and my fangs wouldn't give up, so they were kind of pushing in anyway. And so it flattened my new fangs, and now I got that little chip in my tooth from that one night, and every time I wrung my tongue across, I could feel it.
You feel it, yeah.
Ow. So yeah, it's $5 awards and $7 sponsorship if you want to be in the next story time. Those of you who have already done your finances and are part of the Wild West, please look for that post. It's right next to this one.
Yep.
And look for a type that hasn't been taken. And please pick, because Martin and I want to start writing.
Yep.
We're
Otherwise,
going
we'll
to
pick for you.
Yep. And again, we have very little time because Martin program. So we want to be smart, and we want to be wise, and we want to have enough time to write it. And we're already almost at the middle of the month. So please, if phone call came in, I was nervous that if you'd hit the end or the ignore, that it would affect the broadcast, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'll get you to call him back while I do the final stuff after we're off.
Oh, okay.
But yes, so the story times are coming along well. Remember, there's going to be a prize. I haven't decided what to do for the Wild West. But we will have a prize, and so we'll have a trivia woven into the script, into the story time. And if you have to contribute an award at any size, if you're not already a sponsor, contribute an award of any size during the story time in order to get entered into the trivia. So yeah, and we're gonna do it a little differently this time. We're gonna number everyone. So look for that information too. We're gonna move it to Sundays because some of you have expressed that you'd rather it be Sundays. Don't know what time yet. Haven't. We're trying to get in between, where our audience is. A time in between, kind of where, because Grand Admiral Throng, 7-8 o'clock seems to be good for you. But in BC, some people are saying it's too early, but we don't want to go too late either. So we're gonna put the date of the actual story time up soon, and move it to Sundays so more people can join us. So I hope to see everyone. But yes, so respect yourself more than anyone else can, and everything will be fine. Self-respect, self-love, most important thing. Thank you for joining us on our little walk down memory lane. Thank you for any of the awards given during the broadcast, and thank you for your time, and we're hoping you enjoyed. Feel free, because you can comment after the fact, feel free to comment with any more questions. Martin and I are always happy to point people in the direction. Guildwood has a Facebook page where a lot of people post their photos, so I'm going to post the link to this broadcast on the Facebook page. So hopefully we can get some more people on HAPS as well, and hopefully we can get Guildwood a little more attention, because really this property needs to be saved. It needs to be consistent. It needs to flourish. Yeah, and it's very important to us, and I know it's very important to a lot of people. Like I said, there's all these photos online of wedding and married couples and graduations, and so much has happened on this property. Even after the two of them passed away, it's just still it's an amazing property, and it's still in the city, but it's out of the way. Like, I've never even seen homeless people here, or no drug deals, no. One night we came and someone was doing donuts in the parking lot, but that's about it. That's about all I've seen, and that's pretty typical when you're, bored.
Bored, come here with your fancy cars and show off to each other.
So it's great. But Martin, why don't you say see you later, Martin?
See you later, Martin.
That's nice. I like that, because you will see them later.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not as soon as I do, but later. Sooner or later. Later or sooner.
Either way.
Either way. Trying to get it even. 2 hours. Oh, low battery. No.
We're okay.
No, low battery mode is gonna start dropping that signal. So we're gonna go. If you didn't make it to an even 2, damn. All right. Listen, folks. We'll talk to you all later, and thanks for joining us. And Pablo and Peter, thank you for the idea. All right.
Awesome.
Later, guys.
Night, everyone.
Bye.